when the military actions were happening, when India went in with our strikes against terrorist training camps, when there was a retaliation from the Pakistanis a few days later or shortly thereafter, how tense was the Prime Minister? Was he monitoring it constantly? Could you give us a sense of what was happening around him as we did some of our most major military actions since 1971?
No, I think Honorable Prime Minister himself, Prime Minister Modi, is a very focused worker. So, leave aside the war times, even in the peace times, whenever he takes up a task at hand, like for example in COVID, he was doing daily monitoring. That mission Suraksha was launched for COVID vaccine, and we could come out with the first ever DNA vaccine in the world. It started the entire world because India was never taken seriously for its healthcare capabilities, and least of all the preventive healthcare. So we became leaders in preventive healthcare, and that's because the Prime Minister put all his might into that, all his focus. So like Gati Shakti, then I think he's the first time Pragati, the new experiment. Every month he's monitoring projects across the country in all the states, directly talking to the chief secretary. So that way he is otherwise by temperament, by aptitude, very focused. And of course when this situation happened, he cut short his visit and was minute to minute monitoring even the whole night. And as far as the other part is concerned, I don't think nervousness is known to him because he has a very well cultivated composture.
He was up through the night monitoring minute by minute.
Yes. He otherwise also works late. And therefore, this of course is something that he was personally monitoring.
And he would have had to have weighed in on some of the most critical decisions India has ever taken because the escalation matrix appeared to be going up.
It's because of him. The narrative has changed. For the first time, the defense forces have the liberty to take decisions based on their professional wisdom and discretion, which was never happening. In fact, my constituency happens to be on the international. I have over 400, I think about 70 or 8 to 100 kilometer of international border is with my constituency. That Punjab partition where happened, the Red Cliff Line, and the BSF and the other security forces always held this grievance pre-2014 that look here, the fire happens and we don't have the liberty to give them a rebuttal in equal measure. We have to contact New Delhi. So I think that kind of confidence, and not only that, that also has given confidence to the forces there. That look here, we have a political disposition which has faith in us, and which I think has reflected in every aspect of the working of Prime Minister Modi. One not often remembered incident is that soon after he became Prime Minister, he abolished the practice of getting the certificates attested by gazetted officers. Which these college school boys had to do whenever they sought admission or applied for jobs. And to my mind, that sent out a huge message that look at, here's the Prime Minister, he has a government which has the confidence to trust the citizen. So similarly, trust the man sitting at the border.
Compare and contrast Narendra Modi during the Balakot strikes, how he was observing it, how he was aware, what he may have been telling you, and this mission, which was much, much larger ultimately. Is it possible to compare? I mean,
no, I think
his involvement, what he was saying, what he was seeing?
He has huge clarity of mind. Second, he is very decisive. And his decisions are also prompt. And I think as is being now often being also sought to be explained, even by our delegation abroad, that it was clear that we have to crush the terror camps and the terror sources, not to harm the civilians. And I think that remains sacrosanct till the end. So that, on the one hand, the narrative has changed to not only to react but also to act. On the other hand, also to be careful not to cause collateral damage to the innocent citizens, whether they live on this side of the border or the other side. So I think that's a huge, huge message, universal message actually.
How does Prime Minister Modi deal with the fact that there is nuclear blackmail from Pakistan all the time, not just this time, but in the past as well?
I don't think Prime Minister Modi is the one who's given to any kind of blackmail, individual or national. And the more you make the foolhardy effort of pushing this kind of a thing into him, the more firm he becomes in his resolve.